Now, as we look further and we look at Ronan Williams, excellent. He's very good. Then when we look at him playing for South Africa, he has been representing and doing very, very well in his senior career. And at age 34, he has proven that he's one of the dynamic leaders in the team. So when we look at even the squad, I touched on Ronan. The coach, Hugo Bruce, brilliant, dynamic individual, knows how to actually be a master tactician. The only thing is that it's not reflecting in terms of silverware, but it being his high accomplishments on the continental stage. Now, he promised that the World Cup will qualify, will do very well, and he's actually done that. Then we have the likes of Kulisi Mudabu. Kuliso Mudabu, brilliant right back, can play as a centre back, very versatile. Most of the American crowd got a glimpse of him with Sundowns, especially in that game with Dortmund, and it was a 4-3 battle which South Africa lost. And then the son of the second city, Mbegezela Mnkazi. If you know, you know. This man, brilliant. Brilliant as a hard tackling, no nonsense defender. Up front has a cannon of a left foot, and he scores blinders, and he is one of the most fantastic players that we have come across. Then we look at other people such as Audrey Mudiba, um, very, very brilliant. Talent Mbata, very brilliant as well. As a CDM, he does a very brilliant job. Then we have Tabuko Mukwena as a CDM, as a central midfielder. He plays the ball, he does it very well. All in all, we have a perfectly aged and balanced Bafana Bafana team. Then we look at Jaden Adams, who has something that he can contribute. Very brilliant. He can also bring forth a lot of dynamics in that midfield. He's hardworking in that engine room. But now I'm going to talk about this gentleman here, Temba Zwane. Now, Temba Zwane, ladies and gentlemen, was the missing link at the AFCON. You could see in the middle there was nobody holding it down, and it was always free flow traffic in the middle. And when he's there, he dictates, he does very well, and he plays some beautiful football. Very brilliant player, love him, excellent. And then there's in South Africa what we call the president of the 2000s generation, Lebohile Mufokeng. This man, dare I say, after the World Cup, and if he does a very great performance, his stock will go up. He is going to be one of the best players that South Africa is going to offer from this tournament. Then we have Ozonapolis, who, for me, is a person who you cannot drop him. Very brilliant, very reliable. We can count on him. He gets the goals, he scores them. He's very excellent at what he does. Now then we have Moremi. Moremi, excellent player on the left hand side. Those crosses come in. It is brilliant. He brings it down. But as with all South Africans, here's the thing. We always have a habit of criticizing players. And this is where I would like to, and I know I'm not in the place to do such. I've never been a coach on a huge scale. But I'd like to say this, and this is a personal message if Lau Foster gets to hear this and see this. Mr. Foster, people are going to be kissing your boots when the World Cup comes. That number 9 jersey that you're going to be wearing and that goal you are going to score is going to uplift the nation. Any person that has doubted you and says that you are not a workhorse, believe me, they will see your worth. They will see what you'll do at the Azteca against Mexico. It is going to be a battle, yes. It's not going to be a walk in the park. But what I know is when it comes to Lyle Forster will give you something when you least expect it. Hardworking, runs, he does them well, and against the Mexican opposition, he can cause a bit of issues. He is going to be a person who's going to score those goals and makes people question their own trail of thought about what they said. Now, there's a couple of players here that are not on this list, and I'd like to discuss them in their absence. And it is very difficult because they perform very well, and we notice their absence. Firstly, it's Percy Tau. He hasn't been in the Bafana Bafana setup for a long, long time. Um, we have players such as also Vala and also Kekana. Those players have not been in the setup, so everybody's asking when are those players going to get a run. Nkota, we didn't get to see him during the international break. He didn't get a call up, but we're hoping to see him maybe at the World Cup. Uh, Last but not least, Tembinkosi Lodge. Now, Lodge is a very brilliant player, and we don't know what's going on. Everybody's going to yell and say there's a lot of things that are happening. There's a lot of figures at work that says that Lodge is not going to be in the whole national team setup, but we'll see what happens. And rightfully so, I think that this team is not a very bad team, not a bad team at all. So South Africa can cause an upset. Now, when we look at this group, and we look at the fixtures that South Africa were in. Okay, this is the list of fixtures which they've played. Over here, it is the battle that we've never got to finish between Mexico and South Africa 16 years ago. In all retrospect, let's state the facts. In this group, Mexico has got the best World Cup pedigree. They're playing in the 18th edition of the FIFA World Cup. South Africa is only playing four. So in terms of pedigree, it goes to Mexico. Then we look at how far these teams have come. The best performance by Mexico was in 1986 in Mexico, which everybody remembers was the late Armando Maradona's tournament where he was with Boruchaga and all of those people. And to my Argentinian fans, yes, Argentina was that good. I've always relished and seen that Argentina is a team that is going to be the ones to beat for this tournament. But when I look at this, we also remember that Mexico were knocked out by penalties in 1986. I believe it was against West Germany. And then from then onwards, they've just been languishing either in the round of 16 or being knocked out in the group stages. So in terms of advancing, everybody's going to give it to Mexico. South Africa can cause an upset and get out of the group stages. But this game between Mexico and South Africa is going to be one of the most memorable games. And it's going to be one stellar opening game. As unbiased as I'm going to be, it can lead towards a draw. But if I'm being honest, we are looking, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say it straight. If South Africa is going to win it, it's going to be by the slimmest of margins. We are talking about a 2-1 victory, but I can see them getting a draw out of Mexico. But if they win this game, it is going to shock the football world. It's going to shock the Mexicans. It's going to put the people of Czechia on notice. The South Koreans are going to pay a lot of attention to them, and everybody is going to see that they are on notice. They are not to be messed with. They are one of the best teams that can actually cause a problem. Now, the game against Mexico I've spoken about. Then 7 days later against Czechia at 6 p.m. The last time South Africa played against Czechia, it didn't end very well. It was a 4-2 win for Czechia. It was in the now defunct tournament, which was the first edition of the Confederations Cup. Back then, this was in the 90s, now in the 2000s. Yes, Czechia went through the whole door of getting in through the playoff qualifications, but they made it. Now, against South Africa, it's going to be one hell of a game because Czechia, very tall, very high, height dominant team. South Africa, very grounded, very speedy, knows how to move the ball. We know that Hugo Bruce is going to have a lot of tricks up his sleeve against all of his opposition. But the question is, what will the end result be? That is what we're all wondering as South Africans. Possibly South Africa could end up getting points here. They can pick it up. They can win those games. And I believe this game is going to be played in Atlanta, so we'll see what happens. Then, South Africa against South Korea is a very, very lovely one because both of these nations have never played against each other before. It's the first time ever. So it could lean either way. Honestly, I see South Africa beating South Korea, but we need to be very careful because Son Heung-min and the boys are going to bring one hell of a battle. Um, and especially in the Guadalajara heat, it's going to be very, very challenging. But all in all, I see South Africa maybe finishing second or third in the group. But the ultimate group, I'd like to say the best group result you could ever get as a supporter would be seeing your country finishing first. Again, when we look at these games are beautiful in itself. And this World Cup is going to be one of the most memorable World Cups. I mean, 104 games from 64 matches. It's going to be a spectacular thing to watch. So, what is my end verdict? My verdict is this: South Africa can qualify. They can qualify very well. They can win. They can get out of this. But firstly, it's gonna have to be the whole thing of we must just block out the noise of what everybody says. This is a tournament where anything is possible, anything can happen. You can win it, you can lose it at any given stage. So it's going to be battle after battle after battle. So my view, South Africa will take this thing. They'll do a phenomenal job in terms of getting out of the group. But beyond that, everything that they do is going to be one massive achievement after another. They can be one of the most spectacular nations when it comes to playing this game. They play enterprising football. We as South Africans have always loved to see our nation in the World Cup. There's many generations who have said, if only this happened, if only that happened. Well, the time starts now. The foundations have set. There's an opportunity to be great. And before I sign off, I'd like to say this to Coach Hugo Bruce. Coach Hugo, we believe in you. There's a lot of people who have a lot to say. But I will say this: all the people who are talking have no idea what it's like to play in a semi-final of a World Cup and also finish in the top four nations in a World Cup. They've never done that, but you have. You know what it takes. You know what is needed. You will get the result. And I will say that a lot of people are going to eat their words when they see how well South Africa is going to perform. Right, so this is the end of the Rankan Files. Please like, comment, subscribe. Your support will be appreciated. And as time goes by, there's going to be live watchings, and we're going to be watching the matches together. And I also dime in and give my viewpoint on what is going on. So until next time, I'll see you again. And on the next episode, we'll be talking about El3, Mexico. Take care now. See you next time.